Hey guys, Rosgrease Gaming back with another video for you guys, and today I wanted to do something different that we haven't done on this channel, but actually been wanting to do, I guess, for a little while. So, we're gonna try this, see how it goes. But I'd like to do some history about some of these ships that we've been playing. So, to first start off, we'll do a few videos of it, see how it goes, see everybody if they like it, if they're interested. But I think this first video we're going to do in the legendary Battlecruiser, the Sharnhorst. So I hope you all enjoy. Just sit back, relax, enjoy, as we talk about the legendary German Battlecruiser, the Sharnhorst. Sharnhorst's history started before World War II, after Germany's new government took to power. Sharnhorst was the start of the new fleet for Germany. Her keel was laid in February of 1934. However, her construction was halted and the materials were scrapped. This is because the original plans were modified to accommodate new specifications, so a new keel was laid of June of 1935. She then spent 16 months on the way until being launched in October of 1936. After 27 months of labor, Sharnhorst was officially commissioned in January of 1939 and placed under command of Otto Kylax. Immediately after her commission, she began intensive sea trials in the Baltic Sea. Once completed, the Sharnhorst was the largest unit and acted as the fleet's flagship. After preliminary trials in the first half of 1939, adjustments and alterations were necessary to some of the systems and equipment. This included new boilers due to the low freeboard and bow trim. Also, aircraft hangar was added, and the stem was modified. In September of 1939, the Sharnhorst made brief trial run to check new features and adjustments. It was found that the work had been done and necessarily been fixed. Superheater tubes also were found to be malfunctioning. After intensive training in November of 1939, she was ready for combat operations. Sharnhorst and her sister ship Gneisenau were called to action on the 21st of November 1939. The initial plan was to sink patrol vessels in the strait between Ireland and the four Lower Islands, then push west to observe and search the area ahead, and could also assist the pocket battleship Deutschland to return home for repairs, as was experiencing engine problems. However, bad storms on the 22nd caused her speed to drop to 20 knots. Around 15:30 hours on the 23rd, smoke was spotted on the horizon. It was the armed merchant cruiser HMS Rawalpindi ran to hide but failed as the two German battlecruisers quickly caught up. Trapped between two of the most powerful German ships on the high seas, she was ordered to abandon ship. The captain of Rawalpindi, Captain Kennedy, declined and began to open fire on the two mighty ships. One shell from the Rawalpindi hit the Sharnhorst but failed to create any damage, since they were World War I 6-inch guns, while Sharnhorst and the Gneisenau rained shells on the vessel, taking out the bridge on the second. The second went right through the gun control center. Soon the vessel was engulfed in flames. With no power and the ship taking in water, the order to abandon ship was given. With one lifeboat lowered, 40 men wounded were first. The rest swam into the freezing water. Sharnhorst opened fire on last time and hit the forward magazine, blowing the ship in two. In 15 minutes, 238 were killed in action on the Rawalpindi. Sharnhorst began rescue operations but had to stop when HMS Warspite, Hood, and Repulse were running to assist the late fated ship. The two German ships ran at full speed into the smoke and escaped. On the 27th of November, both ships returned with damage due to the rough seas. Both turrets on both ships were both out of operations. While in dock, the Sharnhorst went repairs on the boilers, and also the turrets were repaired. In January 1940, Sharnhorst went on gunnery practice till the 5th of February. Following that, on the 18th to the 20th of February, Sharnhorst was sent out in Operation Nordmark with her sister ship Gneisenau, heavy cruiser Admiral Hipper, and 3 destroyers. Their goal was to intercept British convoys in the north between Normandy and Great Britain, but with no luck. The harsh winter of 1940 kept Sharnhorst at dock for 6 weeks. On the 7th of April, Germany sent out a large fleet out in Operation Westerberg for the occupation of Denmark and Norway. The force included Admiral Hipper, 12 destroyers, later 2, and many other battle groups of light cruisers, destroyers, E-boats, and many numerous auxiliary artillery. Most of the fleet was called into action. Sharnhorst and her sister ship Gneisenau were part of the main covering fleet. Bad weather slowed the ship down to 9 knots, and Sharnhorst sustained weather damage to her longitudinal bulkhead on her starboard side. On the 9th of April, Sharnhorst radar spotted ships. Both ships went into battle operations. No sooner the enemy opened fire, and the battle began. It was found to be HMS Renown. In the middle of the fight, Sharnhorst's radar went out, so she could no longer track the target. Renown opened fire, but due to Sharnhorst's constant course change, she was able to escape undamaged. A few hours later, both ships were able to escape their pursuers, but due to the run to escape, Sharnhorst's first gun was disabled again as water flooded the gun turret. Also, by going at full speed, the starboard turbine went down, so the speed went down to 25 knots. Admiral Hipper joined the fleet later, and all 3 ships returned to dock on the 12th of April. Sharnhorst was put under extensive overhaul to get her ship back in shape. In May of 1940, Naval Command prepped a plan to attack the remaining British fleet and supply lines in the northern of Norway, codenamed Operation Juno. Sharnhorst, Gneisenau, Admiral Hipper, 4 destroyers were sent out on June 4th. By 8th of June, a few ships were already sunk, and now orders of the British were to retreat and cover the convoys. Ark Royal and Glorious formed part of the escort force. Glorious left and told Ark Royal that she was going to move independently to Scapia Flow. It was granted, and she was given 2 destroyers, Admirant and Austra. Glorious was needed to return, as new planes were all ready for the ship. As Glorious was going home, 2 strange ships were spotted. Due to no active readiness, Glorious was not ready by the time the German battlecruisers arrived. Sharnhorst and Gneisenau closed in fast. Once they were in range, they opened fire. In a few hours, all 3 ships were sunk. Sharnhorst was given credit as sinking HMS Ardent and having the longest gunfire hit on an enemy warship at 26,450 yards away. But it was at a cost for Sharnhorst. One of HMS Acacia's was able to strike the ship, killing 48 men, and sent her for repairs till the 21st of November. Gneisenau had light damage, but went to protect Sharnhorst only on its way to get repaired, and was struck by a torpedo in the bow. She was at dry dock later as well. In early December 1940, both Gneisenau and Sharnhorst were prepared for a breakout into the Atlantic Ocean. Codenamed Operation Berlin, it was the most successful German raid on convoys to date. They left on January 21st, 1941. Even though they were sneaking out, they were spotted by British, who sent out 3 battleships, 8 cruisers, and 11 destroyers to intercept the fleet. south of Ireland, but missed their chance as the two ships spotted the incoming fleet and changed course to escape the incoming fleet. Once they were through, they raided convoys with little to no opposition, returning to Brest, France on the 22nd of March. Sharnhorst was credited 8 sunk vessels, grossing 47,588 tons, and combined and captured or sunk 22 vessels combining 113,690 gross tons. But again, this would be short-lived. As soon as the RAF, Royal Air Force of the British Army, spotted the two ships, and the British went on a raid after raid on the intent to destroy the two vessels. On the 24th of July, a major attack on Sharnhorst by the Royal Air Force was done while she was at anchor. About 6 bombs hit the ship, sending her to an 8-degree list with 2 of her main guns out and half her anti-air out. 2 died and 15 were injured. It took months to fix the damage, and changes were made to the ship. First, she had better radar. 2 triple turrets of torpedo tubes were put on the sides of the ship, and 18 additional 20mm anti-air guns were added. Once prepared, Hitler ordered both ships to make a daring move through the English Channel. Both of his generals told him not to do this and changed his mind, but it was an order. So in February of 1943, Operation Sybaris was underway, and everyone was on high alert as the whole time as Prince Eugen, Sharnhorst, and Gneisenau and a few destroyers went through the channel. But as they made their way through, mines hit both ships as they made their way. Both made their way to their home and went for repairs. But RAF bombers attacked the Gneisenau, sealing her fate, and she was never be able to be in service again. Sharnhorst now the only one left. On January of 1943, she was ready to fight again. On Christmas Day in 1943, Operation Austra was ordered by the Tirpitz. Its mission was Sharnhorst and 4th Destroyer Flotilla to raid the northern convoys. But what they did not know was that the convoy had extra protection. On the 26th of December, Sharnhorst and the 4th Destroyer Flotilla searched for the convoy, which was its last fight. She was spotted on radar on the early hours, and the British began to open fire on the ship. Sharnhorst returned fire and began to retreat from the enemy force. One lucky shell hit the main radar, leaving her almost blind at sea. Sharnhorst never saw it coming as the main fleet pursued Sharnhorst as the trap was being set. A second force south of the ship intercepted her course. With radar out, Sharnhorst never saw the second fleet until it was too late. HMS Duke of York was with that second fleet. With her 14-inch guns, she was ready and waiting. Once she was spotted, the battleship opened fire. Sharnhorst began to open fire, but it was a lost cause. She was now surrounded. Sharnhorst began to run as her top speed was over 30 knots, faster than any of the other ships. But one lucky shit hit the boiler room number 1, reducing her speed to 10 knots as it hit the boiler, causing her turbines to fail. The order was then to open fire and give every last shell that was given. Duke of York and the remaining cruisers and destroyers opened fire volleys onto the ship until the end, and then it was ordered to fire a volley of torpedoes onto the vessel. 36 of the 1,968 crew members survived the fight and were prisoners of war. This proved to be a major fall for Germany. Now they couldn't do any major raids or convoys in the northern seas. Well, that's it, guys. That's the history of the Sharnhorst. I mean, she was in one of the most successful and major change-ups for Germany when she was created. Her main goal was to raid convoys and just wreck British lines, and she did fantastically with her sister ship Gneisenau. But if they didn't do Operation Sybaris, maybe things have changed, but nonetheless, Sharnhorst was a terror of the seas, and the British wanted her away, and they succeeded in that case. So I hope you guys enjoyed the history of the Sharnhorst. I'm hoping to do more of these, but until then, guys, take care.